Someone recently said to me that they think they might have a sleeping disorder. They said that they're up late at night trying to get up to speed on information about crypto stuff, which they have investments in, but are a little bit worried or concerned about other aspects of their own life. Not going along with those governmental directions, and considering that to be totally insane. But just to add to that, they're finding themselves comfort eating and can't seem to stop themselves. Being worried, troubled, or even anxious, you're sort of forcing yourself to stay awake. Because in your mind, you're looking to be in one way. Rest assured that all will be well. That you won't be in a impoverished or in a disadvantaged state. And by allowing yourself to sleep, well, you might just miss something. Not seeing that you're actually depriving the physical body of many of those integration processes and those inner workings necessary to assist you to function with more ease and grace. So what you've done is created a pattern, a habit, not knowing that you're simulating parts of yourself, which aids in keeping you awake. And the body really does need to retune itself, but is unable to do so because the ego is in the way. It would be very different, or you'd have a very different experience if you instead chose things that would allow you to relax, unwind, loosen up, release that tension, not think, just be. And by using a new method, taking a new approach, the mind is not really then being forced to be in an overactive state, making it more effortless for you to slow down, de-stress. You're kind of also telling yourself that all is well, everything is okay. Anyway, and this getting up in the middle of the night, when you're consuming food, you're giving yourself more things for the body to do. Because it has to now then process that new intake of food. I did actually do a video on comfort eating, so I won't go over that in this one. Self-diagnosing yourself is, it's not really having full awareness that it may be just your own old routines, old habits, your own choices. That could be the direct cause of you not being able to sleep. The ego has a linear function and is the root or seed of many conditions. And when one chooses to self-diagnose themselves, well, they're unable to see that by doing even that, they're actually creating an actual condition, through the belief of the unconscious egoic mind, the source of all its unconscious creations. That itself creates a condition, an obstacle, which, in another way, you'd be telling yourself that there's something wrong with you. The unconscious mind is the ego, and the ego is a program embedded with limits, distorted truth, distorted data, not designed or vibrationally aligned to have a deeper inner connection, so it doesn't have access to have an expanded state of awareness due to having a third and fourth dimensional level of consciousness. So in essence, the ego is a veil, the block, the mask, the filter, the separation of higher light or source consciousness. So when you go through a period of not being able to sleep, first observe the things that you're doing, rather than choose to see yourself as having a condition, a label. Making yourself a victim. And what does that do? Minimizes yourself, giving control over to your mind. An unconscious one, which looks for external antidotes, not knowing that everything is internal. The answer comes from within you. Those conscious quantum connections, not the ego, those unconscious third and fourth dimensional programs and distorted data. You have access to all those other expanded timelines from the fifth dimension and above, which is quantum, having a quantum view, a deep inner insight and full access to the structures of realities, and have all that intelligence that you'll ever seek. But you've got to dive deep. You've got to be open and connect. Because the ego can only go by external information. This is key if you're looking to transcend your own limits, old habits or old patterning. The deeper we go, the more we gain access. Your cosmic connections, your soul, your quantum existences is more aligned to peace, nature, harmony, flow, unity, love, compassion, tranquility, balance. Where the ego is more aligned to disorder, confusion, chaos, convoluted realities. It's in the way of equilibrium. It's always in the way of you being free. So you could view the ego being in the way of your own freedom, because of that ununified energy, recreating the same things and continually keeping you out of balance because you lack that flow, you lack that openness, that expansion, and choose to add conditions and labels to yourself. But you know what that causes? That causes you more disruptions to your own existence by still being out of tune with all things because of that old function, that old programming. So any time you catch yourself telling yourself that you may have a sleeping disorder, know that you also have the antidote. as everything, the root of all imbalances would arise or come from you, the initiator, who originally created it. I mean, when you break it all down, it would lead to having an old mindset, those old prolonged habitual patterns, preventing you from sleeping, because you had allowed your own ego to get in the way. That you had allowed your own mind to influence you, to affect your own energy, to disrupt your mood, forcing you to stay awake. Anyway, I will do another video soon. And thank you for watching.